Toys for Bob has been sharing some amazing concepts about Spyro from A Realm Beyond over on their social media profiles. And I wanted to break down what we have seen thus far and some of the new mechanics that we may be seeing in Spyro A Realm Beyond. Let's talk about it.
Whoa!
What's up guys, Canadian Guy here, and today we're going to be talking about Spyro's design. Now, if you've seen the trailer, overall, the thought is that the new Spyro looks really good. Even some of the more negative outlooks that I've seen online criticizing it, still at the end think he looks pretty good with only needing a few adjustments, and that's the most negative outlook. But after I settled my excitement and my brain actually, turned on after seeing the trailer, there's one thing that stands out to me. The problem is, when CGI is done, and I have some experience in this as I used to work at an animation and visual effects house, because of the amount of time it takes to finish these animations, sometimes the CGI artists need to get the designs as early as possible for the character so that they could get the CGI trailer done in time for whatever marketing material, while the developers on the gameplay end are still actually tweaking the final look. So if you look at the CGI model of this whole game and you have issues with it in terms of design, keep note that some of those issues may have already been addressed, which is why I actually want to see him in game, even if it's just a short and small idle animation. But the Toys for Bob page has been posting early art from things that we have seen from the trailer, like these little birdies called parakeets. They mentioned that they are hard to catch, so with those implications, I'm worried that these little birds might be fodder for Spyro, which, I'm not gonna lie, if all the fodder is as cute as these little guys, we may be in trouble. Or at least I will be. I don't want to hurt them. But onward to Spyro's design himself. The really cool thing that they showed was actually the original Reignited design compared to A Realm Beyond's design by kind of pasting it on top of each other to show the differences. And this actually allows us to see those differences that have been made between the original model and the new one. We can see bigger wings, horns, and tail. We can see his chest is now more angular. His nose is a little bigger and pointed. Additionally, the wings have grown in the membrane section to aid Spyro in his flight. But what's interesting is that one of the biggest issues some people had was his eyebrows in the CGI trailer. And yet between the Reignited and Realm Beyond designs, we can see they are pretty close to being the same. Again, it may be because the CGI team may have worked with an earlier design, or it was just a matter of translation of the design from it being in-game to CGI that's throwing some people off. Because, to be honest, this design, to me, is absolutely amazing. But we are not done yet, because a couple of days later, Toys for Bob showed off even more art, showing off their design philosophies behind Spyro's new model. And you may be surprised what was an influence, and potentially a brand new move that Spyro may have that he's never had in the series before. We can see here a breakdown of some of the changes from the Reignited model to the newer Realm Beyond model and some of the explanations. The next image is showing the silhouette and general energy design of Spyro in mid-flight, while also showing an explanation of the membrane connection and the slightly more angular shape of Spyro's chest, making him more aerodynamic. The next image shows how Spyro will look in terms of shape mid-flight. And yes, we can see it's much more triangular in shape. Not only that, we can literally see a direct reference to Batman Beyond in terms of Spyro's new in-flight silhouette. Now, I want to note, I did not place that image there. Toys for Bob did that themselves, which I think is really cool. We also got a page of designs showing off where thick scales for Spyro could be applied. Now, I don't know if this is actually for the current design, or if it's for something going on with the textures, or if it could be for something else, which I will talk about in a moment. Now, the next two images give the most information and are, in my opinion, the most important. So, let's get to them next. Here, we can see a reference to a peregrine falcon diving as reference for the purple boy, showing the influence for his mid-aerial dive move. We also can see in the second image of the dive with a blue energy going around it. But here, in the last image, we can see a horns first version, where that blue energy that I just mentioned has been turned into orange and almost fire-like, with the text saying, "Ready for impact, meteor strike." So one of Spyro's new moves may be a dive mid-air, and when you collect enough speed, it turns into a meteor strike when you hit the ground, which honestly is really, really cool. And I love the idea of having this hero landing and smashing to the ground. Lastly, and certainly not the least, is this spreadsheet of different tail designs. Now, we can see the original tail in the corner labeled as number 1, but we can see 14 new ones with a 15th cut off. Now, let me point out the thing that caught my attention. If you look at the CGI trailer, we can see he has a tail that looks like a combination of tail 1, his original tail, and tail 9. But when we look at the art from earlier, we can see that it looks more like tail 2 or a toned down tail 15. The art sheet also has a note on tail 12 saying, "Great for flying fast." This made me think back to the thick scales image that we saw and made me wonder, is it possible that Spyro's look will change through the game? Like maybe there are some upgrade paths that are taken that adjust Spyro's look ever so slightly, allowing for different stats and different experiences depending on how you upgrade your Spyro, giving each player agency. Maybe some players want to fly faster, or maybe they want better combat. We may be seeing evidence of player choice in this tail sheet. Not only that, the other thing that I wanted to point out is the fact that a lot of these images seem roughly cut out. Like, as we can see down here, this tail is cut out, or even in the meteor image, we can see that it's kind of abruptly cut and doesn't look that great in terms of where it's cropped. So it makes me wonder, how many other secrets are on this sheet that we haven't seen yet? What other things have we not seen about Spyro's design that could be altering and changing in game that they're kind of hiding at the moment until revealed later? However, that is purely speculative at this point in time, especially everything on the tail sheet and in terms of player agency. But these were details and ideas that I wanted to throw out to see what you guys thought and some things that came to my mind. In any case, I am excited to see Spyro's final and in-game model on full display. And if you want to make sure that you see it along with my analysis, make sure to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. If you want to support the channel, you can do that by visiting any of the links in the description below. And I'll see you guys in the next video and our live stream. Bye-bye.